In today's episode, we're speaking to Tara Newman. Tara Newman is a high-performance coach on a mission to help business owners generate significant revenue so they can pay themselves well, profit wisely, and create real, tangible wealth for themselves. She has been featured in Money Magazine, Yahoo Finance, HuffPost, as well as other publications and podcasts. She's earned her master's in organization psychology from SUNY Stony Brook, holds a certification in Profit First, and lives on Long Island with her family. Tara is going to be speaking to us today about how to use Profit First system to manifest more money. Let's find out. Welcome. This is Gull, your money mindset expert. And guess what? We have once again the amazing, the gorgeous, the fabulous Tara Newman. How are you, Tara?
I'm good. How are you, Gull?
I'm doing fabulous. We're talking to you again. So how can I not be happy and amazed? We had such an amazing conversation. It was so enlightening. And I like the mental stimulation. I think that it's coming from different perspectives, but on arriving in the same destination always gets me excited. So Tara, we've had the intro again. So tell everybody in your own words what it is that you do.
Sure. I am really here to start a bold money revolution where we understand that money is not taboo. Mm-hmm. And that it is truly a tool for growth and change. And for me, that means supporting female business owners, experts in running a financially sustainable and scalable service-based business.
Wonderful. And today's topic is going to be around how to use Profit First system to manifest more money. So just to make sure that everyone's on the same page, can you explain to us what is Profit First system?
Absolutely. So Profit First is a book written by Mike Michalowicz. Mm-hmm. And then Mike has gone on, his mission is to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. Mm. And so he's gone on to train accountants, business coaches to be profit first professionals, certified profit first professionals, right, of which I am a certified profit first consultant. And so what it does is we take this system of profit first and bring it into people's businesses. And what it basically says is you take your profit first. So in typical business books, it's sales minus expenses equals profit. That's like the standard accounting way of looking at it. And profit is seen as a leftover, and maybe you have some at the end, or maybe you don't. Or, your accountant goes, congratulations, you had this amount of profit. And the business owner goes, where is it? Like, I don't see it in intangible cash. I see it that you have it here on paper. And so Mike has kind of flipped the system. And the way we think about it at Profit First is sales minus profit equals expenses. It uses Parkinson's law.
Right.
To run your business. So what you have left over, that's what you use to run your business after you have taken your profit and paid yourself. Okay. So it's always making sure that the business owner is thriving, because most business owners prioritize expenses.
Yes, of course we do. Yes, we do.
And sometimes at the end of the month, they're like, oh, like this is how much I have left to take. It's not enough, right? And then what happens is like, that does not feel abundant. At all, right? So when we start with profit, we start from a place of abundance, and we start from a place of thriving where the business owner's needs are being met first before the business's needs are being met.
Right. Okay.
And it forces a lot of creativity around how to run your business after you have profited and after you have financially benefited from the business. And it's amazing because it's such a shift in mindset for people.
It is.
To allow themselves to be cared for financially first. And so that's the way we look at it. And I know some people actually ask me, it's a great question. They say, why do we need profit? And so Profit First is the reason why, based on Profit First, you need profit, is because that is the reward for running a business.
Exactly.
Running a business comes with so much responsibility. And And I know we all want to think that it comes with, we can make all this money and just not work that hard. But the reality is there is effort that goes into running a business. There's responsibility, there's tasks, there's all these things that go into running a business. And so we want to make sure that the business owner is rewarded. So that profit account is, you take half of it and leave it in the business for, I call it a self-funded account. I don't like the term emergency account or rainy day fund. Most of us are self-funded. We're our own venture capitalists or our own angel investors. And so, and if the last year has taught us nothing, it's taught us that, that there may not always be funds available for us when we need them. And so it's important to be able to have that available to ourselves. So half of it stays in the business, and then half of it you take and you go on vacation, or you put the extension on your house, or you invest it in real estate, or whatever it is that you want to do with that money, over and above paying yourself a salary.
Right. Okay. So that's in addition to paying yourself a salary.
In addition to paying yourself a salary. And most people know about Profit First because it's the system with all the bank accounts. Because traditional Profit First, you have at least 5 bank accounts. You have a bank account where all your income flows into, and then you have your CEO pay or your owner's pay account where you put aside money to pay yourself. You put aside money for profit. Actually, it's profit and then CEO pay, and then your taxes, because that's like nightmare fuel for any small business owner, especially if you're in the UK, with VAT and taxes and all the things that you have to pay. And then expenses comes after that. And this is basically, if you've ever had a grandparent, I know this is like my grandparents with the envelope system. This is like the envelope system in business. And the reason why Mike did it that way is because most business owners look at their phones and they open their bank accounts and they look at their accounts and go, oh, I don't have any money. Or I have money, right? But this way you can see where your money is going, what purpose your money holds at the flick of opening an app and looking at your bank account. And you can see, oh, I have all this money sitting in my profit account. I have all this money sitting in my owner's pay account. I have this money sitting in my tax account. And when you can see that, for me personally, it allows me to manifest more.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's actually very similar to something I teach, or cash flow mastery, but it's a different bank accounts, different purposes. But the idea behind it is the same. When you see money in these accounts, it allows you to manifest more. So Correct. Let's specifically go on to that now. So, why does it allow you to manifest more? And you've mentioned something off camera. So tell us that. So why does this allow you to manifest more?
Okay. I think there's 3 reasons. And it's funny because I mentioned this when we did the Friday feature, that I am very practically minded. And I've got the woo piece to me.
Yeah.
Right. And so I always say sometimes a math problem can solve a mindset problem. And I love how these 2 systems really work together. And what happens is, first of all, having structure to anything, for me personally, and for most people I know, calms my nervous system.
Yes, of course.
And I truly believe that the name of the more money game is nervous system regulation. This is what affirmation does. It calms the nervous system. This is what movement does. It calms the nervous system. This is what meditation does. It calms the nervous system. So whatever your tools are, self-talk, yoga, like this is all about calming our nervous systems so we can relax and open our bodies to receiving more. And so when I have a structure and when I have a system and I don't have to mentally be thinking about it, it calms me down.
Of course.
I'm no longer worried using my mental space to like do math or like worry about money. I see it and I'm calm. And then I'm like, okay, everything's handled. I can receive more. It's not all hoarding up in a checking account where like, I don't know where it's going. and what purpose it has. Because a lot of women come to me and they say, I'm making money, but I don't know what to do with the money I'm making. And so how am I supposed to make more if I don't know how to manage what I have?
This is a major obstacle, I think, managing money. And most people are afraid of managing money.
You don't feel responsible with money, as they say.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the weirdest thing for me is that the more money I made, the more overwhelmed I became by it until I had a system that allowed me to clearly put my money in what I call, like, so they call them bank accounts. I call them containers.
I like the word container better. Yeah. Containers better.
They're like, it's like a vessel. And when I can visualize my money spreading out and going into all these vessels, because in Profit First, they say, when in doubt, open an account. So like if you want to save for a team member, if you want to save for something specific that you want to invest in for your own personal development, these are all different accounts. And so I can see my accounts, my growth account growing. I can see my personal development account growing. I can see, I keep my retirement money in a different account. I can see my retirement money that I'm going to put into the market growing or into my retirement vehicle growing. And I get to see all of this happening, and it's just attracting more and more and more. And so I think one, as having a structure, it calms your nervous system. And when your nervous system is calm, you can receive more.
Yeah. I think works, yeah.
I think too, it gives your money purpose when you have those different accounts. So a lot of people wind up being afraid of opening too many accounts. They think it's too much to manage, but I'm like, think about them as containers of desire and these things that you want. And now you can see them tangibly. They're no longer something you're trying to hold in your head or in your mind if you're not great at visualizing, because not everybody is. But you can see them now in your bank account, and I label them with the purpose of what they are, development, wealth creation, team, whatever they need to be. And you can call them whatever you want them to be. And then the third thing I think about it is it gives you a goal. And whether you talk about goal setting or you talk about manifesting, it's the same principles. And I think what gets people, I know it's like the dirty little secret among the women that I work with, is they don't set goals, especially for their money. And so if you're not going to set the goal, if you're not going to declare what you desire, if you're not going to put out into the universe what you want, how can you attract it?
Of course. Yes.
And so those are the reasons why I think, behind the fact that it's a practical system and that for money management and cash flow that actually works, that someone had, that Mike designed like in his mind. He didn't design it from a spiritual or an energetic perspective. As someone who has an energy background, I can see the energetics of what he created.
Yep. So can I.
And I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. It makes complete sense. So in terms of the amount in the system, you decide like, I have in my 3 steps to cash flow master system, I have specific amounts that we're supposed to, as soon as money comes, you put specific amounts on. Is that something similar as well? So, 2%, 5%, 10%, whatever it is, you put into each of those bank accounts. Is that how you work as well?
Yeah. So the way Profit First works is, that's the other thing that everybody knows, the bank accounts and the percentages. So in Profit First, there's a page in the book, and it gives percentages based on research they've done and revenue amounts within a business. Right. And they give you in the book, this is where people get a little messed up too. In the book, they give you what they consider fiscally elite numbers. Okay. But that's not where everybody should start. Okay. You need to start where you are. And I think that becomes like a frustration for people, is that they jump to try and be this, match the numbers in the book. Right. And the beauty of what I love about Profit First, also from an energetic perspective, is how incremental it's designed to be. And so when we create a Profit First plan for somebody, It could be over a year to 18 months, depending on where they're starting, because everyone starts somewhere and there's absolutely no judgment or shame around that.
Yeah.
It's not about where you start. It's about the steps you take to get to where you want to go. And they do it in a way that's so incremental, because I think what sometimes for us, and when it comes to like manifesting, I think sometimes we try and manifest something that's too big initially. And I get that like anything's possible, but it could get really frustrating if you're trying to go from like manifesting something maybe at step A that maybe somebody who's been manifesting for like years and years can easily manifest, right? That can be really frustrating. And so how can we start smaller and not allow that big dream that we have to be a distraction and get in our way and stop us, but create these, I call them energetic hurdles along the way. Like, you know, I had to be the person who earned $1,000 a month before I could be the person who earned $2,000 a month, before I could then earn 4,000 to 8,000 to 16,000. Like I had like my own energetic things that I needed to literally breathe through in my body to get to those places. And that's why I talk about it being about regulating your nervous system.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that I completely agree with. I think I was talking about someone literally just about an hour ago, I was telling them that the universe, and this is what most people come to because they've got this idea in their head from The Secret, but The Secret book is a bit misleading, to be honest. It's just tip of the iceberg. Is not, no, it doesn't give you the nuts and bolts of how to create your life. It just gives you the superficial idea of what's possible. And people come to, you know, to individuals like yourself and I, and they say, well, I want to be earning 500,000 a month. I want to be earning $1 million a month. And is that possible? Hell yeah. Can they do it tomorrow? Hell yeah. The difficulty is exactly what you just described. They have their own financial thermostats, which they have to tune up. Slowly, I call it financial thermostat, because you will get to a certain point and then you will put yourself down. And if your thermostat is not going to be pushed up through internal work, through, you know, rewriting your money story, whatever other work, you know, or as I say, energy clearings and cord cuttings, then you're going to be stuck there. You every time you hit that financial thermostat, you come back down for whatever reason. You create self-sabotage. They call it self-sabotage. I don't call it preservation, self-preservation. But for whatever reason, you will create a situation where you come back down. And so, can you make 500,000 or $1 million tomorrow? Yes. Will you do it? No, because until you've turned up that financial thermostat, until you've done the internal work, you will not be connected to the 500,000 or $1 million. And therefore you cannot believe it, and therefore it will not show up. It's all about how the faith you have and the belief you have. And this, as I was explaining to this individual, it's not the amount that's in question, because universe or divine energy doesn't care whether it's 500,000 or 5 million. It doesn't care. It's just random numbers. It's your belief and your connection to that desire which either allows it to happen or not happen. And this is why when you make the 1,000, you believe, oh, I can make 1,000. That means I can make 2,000. You make the 2,000. When you make, oh, I can make 2,000. That means I can make 4,000. Then you make the 4,000. It's your belief that gets you to A to B to C to Z, rather than the universe. The universe doesn't care. You can jump from A to Z altogether, but you don't have the belief. And the in-between steps gives you the belief to build, oh, what about this? What about that? What about this? And that's the reason why we need to have the stepping stones. And as you put it, overcome your hurdles, right?
Yeah. And, you know, I have an unpopular opinion. You know, I work with a lot of women who have flocked to the internet to find the ability to use online tools to leverage their time, to leverage their reach so that they can make more money, and with the hope of working less. But what happens is they also start to consume all of these marketing messages around like 7-figure and $1 million businesses, which is great inspiration, but it actually is the thing that keeps them stuck because they're focused too far ahead in this cycle. And so, you know, in my program, the Bold Profit Academy, we really talk about that $250,000 mark as, you know, a benchmark. Yes, there's also $100,000 as a benchmark. And then there's $250,000 as a benchmark, because per Profit First, when you get to like that $250,000 mark, you're able to start paying yourself a 6-figure salary. And that is what I want for women. I want them to be able to pay themselves from their businesses, a 6-figure salary, also taking profit, remember, because that's on top of that. And then go from there, then decide whether or not you want to go for that $1 million or whatever the number is that feels energetically correct for you in this moment, because that is how you're going to, achieve that with ease.
Yeah.
And then when you look at, again, practical information, 2018, there was a state of the women's business report put out by Amex. These are US numbers. I know you're not in the US. I can't imagine they're tremendously different.
Yeah, they might be very similar, yeah.
But 88% of female business owners are not making over $100,000 in revenue. So why are we marketing this $1 million message? I get that it's like aspirational, but I also think at some point it's not helpful.
Agreed. I do agree. I think this is but this is the missing link, isn't it? It's actually building that connection with the amount. Yes, you can have a 7-figure business. You don't need to have it tomorrow. I was speaking to my cousin actually, and she's recently joined a company, and I think she was an accountant working for a large corporation, but now she's had a family and she's working for a smaller firm. And this company, when I say smaller firm, it's still, this company is making 10 million in revenue, so not small. And it's female owned. It's the reason why I was intrigued was another lawyer. And she also started this company with, because she's out of the family. But the point I'm making is she started off small. This lady, who's a lawyer, who's now running a 10 million pound company. It's not dollars. In dollars, it meant about 15. So it's a 10 million pound company in revenue, but she started off when it was just a couple of 100,000. Right, so it was small, and it built up and built up, and it took her 10 years to get to this point where it's now making 10 million revenue. But she got here. It took her 10 years, but she got here. But she started off with humble beginnings, and with the startup capital of 200,000, which she borrowed most of anyway. But the point being, you can get to those levels. The 7-figure or even the 8-figure is there. It's possible for you. You just need to have the patience to build it up to that level. And unfortunately, with the hype that we've been given, especially with the new millennials, you see the new millennials, they're 20-year-olds making 7 figures and 6-figure, 6 figures is just nothing now. It's a 7-figure and 8 figures. And you're like, especially if you're in ClickFunnels, Facebook group, you're like, every millennial seems to be making 7 figures. You feel that with your experience and expertise, you should be at the level right now. Is that right? And then where you're saying you need to start off with maybe a lower threshold and build yourself up to that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of arguments for this. One being, you can be a millionaire without running $1 million business. If you want to have a true abundance mindset and welcome money in from all places and all sources, and use your profit from your business to make investments that work for you, where you don't have to necessarily work as much for those investments, I can get you to be a millionaire, not a problem, with a $1,000 business, right? It's what you do with the money, not how hard you work for it.
Yeah.
It's how you use money as a tool, and how you guide the energy of the money, right? So you don't need to have $1 million business to be a millionaire. Back to the point around the millennials and ClickFunnels and 7 and 8 figures, not all revenue is created equal.
Agreed.
This is the key point. The revenue that most people are generating in the online business space is very expensive revenue, meaning they are going low ticket, high volume, and to backfill the volume they need for the low ticket offer costs them half of their revenue in Facebook ads. And at that point, you're just an over glamorized marketing assistant for Mark Zuckerberg, and you're not truly free, because what happens when Facebook ads don't work or don't work as well, or the algorithm changes? And, to me, it's just not the best business strategy. Also, when you look at the sales data, where 78% of your leads are not ready to buy from you right now, the launch model doesn't work. right? Because then you're tuning out 78% of the people who could be buying from you, and you're burning them with, your aggressive email tactics. So, I think there's a lot that can keep people not in an abundant space and not in a profitable space in the way things are being taught today. Really, which is why I take such a strong stand for female experts creating. Because here's the other thing, Gull. It plays right into how women feel about themselves, especially experts. So instead of a woman knowing their value and owning their value, which takes time and work, as you and I both know, the online space says, no worries, just sell something for $57. Sell all of your smarts in an info product for $57. You don't ever have to worry about owning your value or communicating your value. You can go on playing small with your $57, but they don't tell you that you have to sell 4,000 million of these things. Right? To actually make the money that you should be making as an expert. So really, that's why I work with female experts around owning their value, stepping into premium products or services or high ticket, whatever you want to call them, right? And really communicating what they do in a way that women are so great at communicating. And then what do you do when you get the money?
That's perfect. So you basically do both things. So you first work out how to make the money, and then once you have the money, what to do with it.
Correct.
And how to spend it. So I this is one thing that I sort of talk about quite a lot, but not from a business perspective, but from a personal perspective. How you spend money, how you feel about that money when it comes to you is really important, because that will actually totally dictate how much more money comes to you, and in the speed it comes to you as well. So this energy around money that you have need to spend it has to be of the highest vibration, because it will completely dictate how much more money is coming, how often, how frequently, and from what sources as well at times.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so that was really, really an amazing conversation. Can you just give us a quick recap of everything we just talked about just right now?
Sure. So Profit First is a system to help you manage cash flow in your business, where you don't have to be a finance expert, because if you've gone into business for yourself, you're usually an expert in something else that is not business related, and we don't have finance degrees. So it's an incredibly easy back of the napkin type of a system to implement in your business that helps you better communicate with your partner, with your accountant, with yourself, and feel confident about money. It will reduce the stress that you have on your nervous system, and it allows you to receive more. It clearly helps you set goals and give your money purpose, which is all important around creating more abundance.
Fantastic. So tell us, Tara, how can we connect with you? And I think you had a freebie for us as well.
I do. So the freebie that I have is a pre-programmed calculator that if you go through and put in all the things you want to do in your life in this calculator, any kind of expenses you have, if you want a luxury lifestyle, like whatever is your jam, into this calculator, it will tell you how much money you need to take in salary from your business. Right. But not only that, but it tells you then how much revenue you need to earn to support that salary, how much would go to taxes, how much would go to profit, and how much would go to running your business. So it basically does all of the Profit First math for you in that one calculator. And it's been really helpful getting people to, one, identify where they want their money going. How is this going to be supportive in their life? It's helped people, because the dirty little secret is that women don't have revenue goals. They just see what's happening out there and they go, that looks good. I think I'm going to try that. But they don't have like clear goals for them. So it'll help them create a clear goal. And then it'll tell them like, this is how much money you now need to go and make, which actually stops them from overworking, because they might have like, I need to make $500,000 in my business, and they might only need to make $2. So think about all the work you're putting into your business to try and get to a $500,000 number when you need $200,000 right now.
Right. Fantastic. So the link for this would be what?
Yeah, the link for that is if they go to theboldleadershiprevolution.com/revenue.
Okay, fantastic. So the link that Tara just mentioned, all her the links to her website and all her social media links will be available to you guys. If you listen to this on the podcast, then they'll be in the show notes. And if you're watching this on the podcast, on the YouTube rather, down below in the description section will be the link to the freebie, as well as the link to all her IG, Instagram and other social media channels as well. Do go check her out. I definitely do believe that you should go and check out this revenue calculator that she's just suggested. At least have an idea of what it is, the kind of money you need to be making and the kind of money that you want to be taking home in terms of salary, and whether it may be the fact that you're making that kind of money and you're not taking that kind of salary. I know I do not pay myself enough. Most of my money goes back in to the business and goes back into expenses and marketing and so forth. And I pay myself very little. And I think, well, I justify it because, I'm growing. I don't need that much money. But actually I do. So I'm looking to reassess how I sort of deal with finances in my business. And so I definitely recommend, I'll be checking out that calculator. I think it's definitely worth looking at. But thank you so much for being such an amazing guest, Ms. Tara. You've been wonderful.
Thanks for having me, Gull. I appreciate you.
I think we're going to have to call you back, Tara. I think maybe we can arrange another call again in a couple of months' time for us to come back and have another conversation. This has been really, really entertaining and really enlightening for me as well. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Thank you so much for listening to me and Tara on our Money Talkies segment. I will be back with another guest on another segment of Money Talkies, asking them for their advice on how we can build better businesses. Until the next time we meet, this is Gull signing off. Take care and bye for now.